Okay, let's get this show on the road. Welcome, everyone, to the 46th episode of Flicks Fellas. We've officially hit 1 year of the show and we've been
Whee!
cruising.
Woo!
Today, we are watching The Electrical Life of Louis Wain. Sorry, I
Yeah.
forgot. Okay.
Any info on it?
Tell me about
I was like, let me pull
it.
it up.
Tell me. What about
This movie? This movie is about an English artist named Louis Wain who raises to prominence at the end of the 19th century for his surreal cat paintings that seem to reflect his declining sanity. This movie is directed by Will Sharpe, written by Simon Stevenson and Will Sharpe, and starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Claire Foy, Andrea Riseborough, and Toby Jones. Let's get right into our first reactions on this one. Oh, and this is also an Amazon Prime original movie. James, hit us with your first reactions.
bold strategy, Joseph. So this movie, dead ass, almost made me cry in public, and that's what I have to say about this movie. I was like on a plane watching this movie, and I dead ass almost cried. And I was like, "Why are you doing this to me, Joe? Why did you do this?" But honestly, overall, you know, it was kind of weird. It wasn't terrible, but I don't think it was good. I think it was just kind of sad, you know. But that's how I feel about it. I don't know, Kevin.
Okay, that's good.
um, that was really great, James. Really good job. Stellar
You're
job.
welcome. I'm a professional.
I didn't say thank you, but
You're welcome.
I liked this movie. I might be the only one who actually liked it. I did. It was a tearjerker, but I liked. It was light. It wasn't any heavy topics. It was just sad.
I
at
disagree.
times. I mean,
dis-
they aren't
it's
that
almost
heavy. Like
exclusively heavy
Schizophrenia.
topics.
No, it's not like it's not that like it's sad. It's just it's not. I wouldn't call it heavy. Like it's just sad. And
Are you
heavy
sure about
topics
that?
I would feel are like we'll talk about heavy topics later. Anyway, I thought it was like a light movie, like a cry movie. I thought the cinematography was really good. I thought the music was really good, and Joe is disagreeing with
Joey
me with
has
all this.
feelings.
And I thought the acting was really good. I thought everybody in it was really phenomenal. So I thought it was a good movie. It was a decent watch, and I'm glad we watched it.
I am shocked by Kevin right now. Like flabbergasted.
It was a little slow. It was a little slow. I'll give you
pacing
that.
I thought was really bad. I'll give you this. The acting I thought was really good. You know, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a great actor. And Claire Foy, who stars in The Crown, so she's really good.
Made me cry.
I thought it was extremely bizarre. I don't think this guy's life was interesting enough to make a 2-hour movie on.
Yeah,
It was
too long.
I thought he didn't really. I mean, I've never heard of him before this. I picked this movie. I thought it was going to be much more like eclectic, much more like upbeat and rickety, and that he was going to kind of like, oh, I invented this today, and I invented this, and I brought this to the market, and I sold this, and the patent this. Like, it's just about this guy who's an artist who's responsible for his 6 sisters and his mother, and he's the sole income provider, and he makes cat paintings.
Yeah.
And I don't really get like his obsession with cats really came out of nowhere.
No,
and
it was very like, what are you talking about?
Come out of nowhere.
It's so clear why he's obsessed with cats. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I know, no. I know why he's obsessed with cats, but it just like they just find a cat one day in their yard and adopt it, and him and his wife love it, and then it becomes like.
What do you want to see? The whole internal struggle of him deciding whether or not he likes cats? That's all you need is a quick 5-minute scene of him finding a cat in the rain.
No. But it seems like
cat.
I'm muting James.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a thought out here.
He's too drunk to know how to
figure out
himself. Yeah.
My point is his character I thought they were building him up to be this like type of person who like becomes obsessive with everything. James is dying right now. He can't figure out how to unmute himself.
I'm cracking
So
up. Okay, sorry.
it just seemed random to me because it seemed like if he's going to be that quickly obsessed with a cat, why doesn't he quickly become obsessed with like other weird parts of society and things? I don't know. I thought it was really bizarre. The cinematography I thought wasn't that great. I didn't like the 4:3 ratio
Yeah, that was weird. The
filming,
resolution was
and
so weird.
yeah, it's very disorienting when you're used to the 16:9 like rectangle format. Um, but look, I do think that this had a good artistic aspect to it. Like this is a true artsy film. This is not like a mainstream movie. It's not a mainstream movie that's trying to be artsy. Like this is an artsy film, so it does that well, and I think it tried to do that. But let's. Any other comments before we give our decisions?
I have so many comments,
Did we unmute
but
James? Oh, we did.
I have been silenced.
About the movie, James. About the movie, James.
I've got a couple comments about that too.
None.
Honestly, like I do think that like there was a lot of thought that went into the story, and like they did like it is a true story. At least they told us that at the beginning of the movie. And I definitely think it's supposed to be kind of like a weird structured chaos, and I think they accomplished that. But I don't think it was a good movie. If that's like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's a bad story, but I don't think it's a good movie.
I thought it was
In a
movie.
weird
Parallax.
parallax. That's what I'm looking for.
No,
I felt
it's
like
not parallax.
It's not parallax, but that's the word I wanted.
Paradox?
I think that's a
So
word.
Paradox,
I
brother?
felt like I had ADHD.
Excuse me, are you the
paradox?
drunk one?
I don't know.
Are you?
He's not.
Mute
His
James.
face isn't stuffed in his webcam screaming right now.
Muted. I felt like I had ADHD watching this movie, and I also fell asleep for like 10 minutes. And I was like, oh shit, like I just fell asleep. I need to rewind because I just it kept losing me, and it wasn't exciting. And then when I was watching it, just felt like so much was happening. I'm gonna unmute James before he yells. But Kev, if you would like to say anything, this is your time.
Oh yeah, before you unmute him, I did genuinely think it was a good movie. I do disagree on a lot of your points. I think the only thing I agree on is that it was a little too long and the pacing wasn't that great. So I think they could have cut a lot out. But all in all, I thought it was a light, like kind of, I need to cry, so let me watch this movie with a cute story, and it ended up okay. So I enjoyed it a lot. You can unmute the town drunk so he can get his words in here.
Disrespectful.
James, welcome back.
Disrespectful. How dare you? I am a quality member of this podcast, and I will not be silenced.
Okay, buddy, what do you have to say?
Okay, so give us your final vote.
I tried to do that, but then you
Or your first
silenced
vote.
me. Fine, I will pass.
Are you pressing play or keeping scroll?
Keeping scrolling.
Scrolling?
Keep the scroll.
I'm pressing play.
I am going to keep scrolling. I think it's too niche of a market to.
I disagree with Joey, but also agree with Joey.
There you have it. There's our first reactions on the electrical life of Louis Wain. If you're interested in watching the movie, it is on Prime Video. If you want to watch before we get into the spoiler section of the show, please go do that. If you want to subscribe so that you know when the next part comes out, please do that as well. Or if you just want to keep listening, let's call it there before James just welcome back. Let's get into the spoiler section while I have James muted.
I cannot be contained. I found the button.
You found the mute button. Oh, Christ.
Okay. Kev, tell us what you loved so much about this movie that you're pressing play.
Well, it's not that I loved it so much. I just didn't think it was like a bad movie, and I'm not gonna I enjoyed my time watching it, so I'm not gonna say scrolling. But I think, like, let's start off with something I think we can all agree on. The hair and makeup in this movie and the costume design was fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
his makeup prosthetics as he got older throughout the movie were great. Like,
Yes.
it looked so believable when he was like 90 years old or whatever. Like, he looked old as fuck, and that didn't look like CGI. I mean, I'm sure they brushed it with CGI, but it looked pretty good. And if it was CGI, it's damn good CGI. So
Mhm.
I really thought that was like at least technically for this movie, like really great. Um, and I really like the acting. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is fantastic. Like, I had no issues with the acting there. And yeah, I mean, it's a little slow, like a weird story, but I thought that was fine. It was like a quirky little art film with some big names, and I thought it was good. And it brought a tear to my eye. So they really knew how to like evoke emotion, and I thought that was good. So
I'll agree with you in the first part. I thought that again, I didn't love the cinematography, but it was good production value in the sense of the costume, makeup. It
yeah,
The camera work was, clearly professional camera work. It wasn't like
yeah,
iPhone camera. Like it did look good. It was a high quality production. I don't know. Maybe just I wasn't in the right mind headspace for this movie like you guys, but like I
yeah.
didn't get emotionally connected. I thought it was bizarre. I don't.
What are you talking
Everybody
about?
loved these cat pictures, and I was just like, I don't see it. I hate
It's
cats,
not
so maybe
about the
that's it. I
cat
don't
pictures,
know. Like,
bro. It's not about the cat
it's so
pictures.
much about the cat
It is
pictures.
not
It's
about the
so much
cat
about the cat
pictures.
pictures.
It is not about the cat pictures. It is about the dying person and the sadness and the pain. That is what it's about.
But
And
the cat
coping.
pictures follow him throughout his own like sanity and throughout his like for his growth throughout his life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you don't cry
I
because
don't
the
know. I
cat
didn't feel
pictures.
emotionally
No, that's not what evoked the emotion. But that doesn't mean the cat pictures aren't important.
No, I
Well,
don't
and I'll
I'm
say
not
this too. Like, there was a good point that he does acknowledge that he like is like as he increases in despair and like what's it called pain like through his life, his
Hmm.
work gets better. Like, and I think that's a true theme through a lot for a lot of artists. Like you find creative outlets through your trauma and pain.
Yeah,
So I think that's
Yeah.
what the connection was supposed to be with, like the sorrow versus the growing and prominence of his artwork.
Feeling the
But
extremes
James,
right.
of the
tell
emotion
us your
lets him like
thoughts.
I feel like they did a good job of kind of like capturing the actual thought process of like someone who doesn't like conform to like a normality or like a sane mind. Like it was a very chaotic movie and it seemed very interesting to kind of like go along and like, you know, it felt they did a good job of conveying the story from I feel like Louis Wain's character because it felt a little disjointed, it felt a little weird, it felt a little, like non-conventional, which I think they did well. I did like, but I do kind of stick by the fact that I don't think that it was like I think they did a good job of conveying emotion. Like I was like, all jokes aside, I was like dead ass about to cry on a fucking flight to a work function today. And I was like, I need to like tighten it up right now. But they did a good job of conveying that emotion and like really taking at least me through the grief of like losing a loved one, and like they established a very beautiful and like unique relationship which they then kind of threw into this like very humanizing and sad scenario. And that's why sad things happen and tears happen maybe. But I do think that like the quality of the movie very much like distends into madness in the same way that like Mr. Wayne does. And the last like hour of the movie is just kind of like chaos. And like I get that there's like very like decent story beats there, but I don't think that that makes it a good movie. I think that that makes it like I stand by the fact that it's not a bad it's a good story. I just feel like I saw too much, and it was because it was such a disjointed format. Like it really kind of like you feel the unconnectedness because it's almost a 2 hour movie.
Can
Hey,
Yeah,
I
sober
piggyback real
thoughts.
quick off of that?
Sober
yeah.
thoughts.
That was
I
actually really great. Can we give James a round of
Yeah, that
applause for
was
getting that out
snaps.
so drunk? That was really good.
I agree that I think, like you said, they showed too much, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I thought they didn't show enough. Like the beginning of the movie, the family dynamic is so unique in the sense that it's like they don't really explain that the father died. They don't really. I thought the mom was sick the whole time because like we hired the
Same.
governess like because she needs the help. So I thought the mom was sick, which she wasn't.
Nah, you
There's
weren't
6
listening.
girls. Kev's like, you weren't paying attention. I quickly realized that she wasn't, but there was there wasn't enough kind of like clarity into the whole family role because there's like Louis Wain, who's this older guy, and then he has sisters who are like 6 years old, and then like a bunch of other people. Like his sister Caroline is yelling at him as if like they're married. I was like, is that his
Mhm.
wife? And then I
Yo,
was like,
she
oh no,
sucks.
he's hitting
She
on.
sucks straight up.
He's hitting.
That's
Yeah,
she's the worst. She's
but
the worst.
at dinner too, I was like concerned. I'm like, okay, he's hitting on, or he's like looking at the governess, the aide, and the sister
Nice.
notices this and is like very. It seems like jealous almost. I was like, is she into her brother? Is she into her, or is
Yeah,
she
she's
just
just a
like trying
control
She
to?
doesn't
person.
approve. She doesn't approve
She
of
doesn't. And then I
that
realized again,
relationship.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they don't really kind of clarify these things or set it up nicely. They just kind of throw you into it, and all this madness is happening constantly. It's very disoriented. It's very disjointed, and like I said, I felt like I had like ADHD watching it, but I also like wasn't interested enough to like kept losing me at the same time.
I feel like I agree with James a lot. Like I do
Nice.
think it told what it needed to tell. I think it gave everything that it needed to give. But I do agree. I think it gave too much, and that what you said about that last hour just being madness, whether it was purposeful or not, I don't think it worked. Like if it was on purpose, that like the last hour of this movie, it starts to, like James said, descend into kind of madness. Um, like if it was intentional, it didn't work. Um, if it was unintentional, they really fucked up because I thought it was really focused in that first hour up until she dies, and then the the whole plot kind of goes crazy. And it's one thing to show him going crazy and his artwork and everything like that kind of evolves along that line. That's one thing. But to start to confuse viewers and make you feel like you didn't get enough information and but also getting too much information, that I don't think that works.
I also
But it
like
didn't really take enough away from me that I wouldn't tell someone to watch this movie.
I also feel like they kind of like weirdly like were random with like his logical or not logical but like realistic fallacies. Like there were like certain times when he was like all cats will be blue and you have to feel the electricity and like all the shit, and then there are also times when they like flash into his vision and he's seeing like anthropomorphic cats walking around, and you're like, he didn't say anything about anthropomorphic cats walking around, but okay.
Yeah.
Like
But that was
That
all
was
good. That was all good ways of showing him descending into like
yeah, but it was like
his own
formless. That
schizophrenia.
was the issue. It was like
But
it.
but they should have done just that with a focused storyline, and then that last hour maybe plays out a little better.
Yeah.
they also didn't really like he's I could was he supposed to be a scientist too? Because it's like why is everyone
He's like
trusting
No, he's not.
his
He's not smart. He's just
expertise
saying
on
because he's
cats
smart.
just because he
Just because
draws
he's
them?
smart. Back
He's not
then,
smart.
it didn't
He's
matter
not smart.
if you were a scientist. If you were just smart, people just
Yeah,
believed you.
He's
yeah.
just saying the word
They're
electricity.
like, oh, you're
He's not smart.
the cat. Yeah, literally, it was
Wait,
electricity every other line.
this movie gave me a great idea, though, boys.
What if we
For this
electrocuted
summer,
cats? What if
we should get
electrocuted-
bathing suit.
I feel like that's what you're talking about the
that's
whole
not where I was
movie,
going.
though. He's like, they're full of electricity,
No,
and then they'll turn blue.
we should get matching. Joe, can you mute him? We'll
Yeah,
get,
let's
this summer, this summer, this summer, I'm gonna unmute him once he's done saying "fuck you," so that he can react to my
Yeah.
proposition. James, are you done?
Are you going to be a good boy now?
All right. So my proposition is this summer we get matching bathing suits like the one he wore in the bathhouse, like those ugly stripes,
my
like
God.
the shirt
Like
with
the
the
shirt pant
matching
bathing
tight
suits.
pants. Yeah.
Oh
We can all
God.
show up like 1890 England.
I love it.
That would be hilarious.
If you buy me one, I'll wear it.
And there was something else.
It's like my swimmeralls.
No, your swimmeralls are way cooler than that.
Oh,
Hey,
okay, thanks.
500 likes on this video. We'll post a picture of Joey in his swimmeralls.
You can just go to my
Okay.
Instagram and see
Yeah.
it for free.
Shut up, Joey. Why would you do this to me? Lisa.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Lisa, why have you done this?
Okay, I
Um,
think this episode is reflective of
What?
the movie, and it
movie?
is turning into
Descending
chaos.
into madness.
Descending into
Disrespectful.
madness.
I will say, I also wanted to say though, speaking of the cinematography, I know you guys didn't like the aspect ratio, but those shots where it was like a painting, like when it started to transition into painting, those were
Mhm.
some cool shots. I thought
like that.
those were like pretty shots, and they made sense in the context of the movie. And it happened a few times where it looked like an
Mhm.
actual painting. I
Yeah,
thought
no,
those
I
were
did
pretty
like
cool.
that. Again,
Yeah.
the cinematography style, I thought I liked. The aspect
Yeah.
ratio is a little disorienting because
little
even
weird.
in like widescreen, you expect to see like the black bars on the top and bottom. Like,
Yep.
I feel like we're just not used to as viewers seeing it in the square format.
Should watch this
I
on
don't. It's not.
VHS.
It was bad.
Yeah, or like one of those old school TVs.
Yeah.
It's not a reason to not watch it. In my opinion, I was just a disorienting thing. And there's a lot of times where it's like super grainy and it feels like you're watching a movie
Yeah.
that was made in the like 1800s, and then there's times when it's like high quality. So that also was just like
Jarring.
back and forth jarring.
Yeah.
It was
But
bad.
And
I did like the production value of it. There were some cool shots. There was some bizarre, like we said, like the kaleidoscope effect thing that's like 30 minutes long at the end. That I was like,
yeah.
oh, this is the end of the movie, and then it's not because it keeps going. But it was literally probably 2 minutes of just a kaleidoscope turning into a cat. That's not a cat. That's more a kaleidoscope. I don't know. It was a little weird. It was a little too artsy for me, and I'm an artsy guy, I think, or at least more artsy than you two, I would think.
What? I'm so
Definitely
artistic.
Way more
Yeah.
artsy than us.
I'm so artsy. I'm so
Don't make
artistic.
the joke, Kevin.
I'm so artistic.
Stop, James.
You know what's really like what's really like a smooth cut is when we talk about making cuts and then we say something and then we talk about making cuts again. I think that's a really smooth transition, personally.
I like that.
I
Then
like
you can
that.
keep it in there, and people will be like, "Oh, they're risque. They keep their
Man, they
cuts
talking
in."
Yeah.
chop. They talking chop on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else about this movie that you guys liked, disliked, wanna warn the viewers about, or spoil?
The person
no
that plays
more
the governess
qualms.
is amazing.
Did you guys like the fact Claire Foy?
She's
Yeah,
good.
she's really good.
Yeah.
Did you guys like the fact that the actor, let me pull up his name real quick, Adil Akhtar, the guy who plays Dan Ryder, comes back at
Oh,
the
yeah.
end? Like,
Yep.
I didn't really. You did like that?
Yeah, I thought it was a good way, like a good bookend and a kind of a heartfelt way to wrap it up. I thought it was good.
It seemed a little gimmicky to me, but it didn't. It wasn't upsetting. I don't know, because Dan Ryder met him before Louis Wain was like
Yeah,
any type of person or name, recognizable name. That I almost was like, would you really remember meeting somebody on a train
but I think that's the
30
I
years
think
earlier?
I think that's the point they're trying to make is like him realizing that like like even though everything he has is gone, like his artwork is still helping people and is making an impact on people and making someone else's world more beautiful, even though he feels like the things that made his world beautiful are all gone.
Okay. Yeah, again, there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of metaphors. It's definitely a good movie to like really, I think, like analyze the shots,
Yeah.
analyze the decision making.
Yeah.
It's a good movie in that aspect. As a
It's super
everyday
artistic.
entertainment aspect, I still think it's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a super like palatable movie. I think it's very much like it falls in the realm of like a Grand Budapest Hotel or like something like that, where it's like it's a super stylistic piece.
Almost like Power of the Dog, kind of, where it's a little.
No, it's way
No,
better
Power
than
of the
that.
Dog was just straight bad.
It was far
that
better
was a
than
bad
Power of the
movie.
Dog.
Yeah. Far
Yeah.
better, yeah.
Then let's get into, or do you guys, let's play the game. It's been a minute since we've
Play
recorded.
the game. Play the game.
We will go to Rotten Tomatoes and start with the audience score. Kevin, start us off.
I'm going to go audience score 68.
James,
52.
74.
Ooh.
I got a high
Whoa.
audience
Yeah.
score.
Not bad.
Okay. Yeah. And now, tomato meter. James, why don't you start us off?
82.
Yeah. That's about where I was going to go. I'll go 83, but I was literally going to say
Did you just
82.
Price Is Right me? Did you Price Is Right me?
Yes, but because you'll stole my answer, so.
It's actually lower. It's a 70.
Huh.
The critics were not as big of fans as the audience.
Not as fond.
Yeah.
James.
What is this reaction
you,
from
Kevin!
James?
He's glad he won.
Oh, you won. He Price is Right at you and you won.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he
that's
won.
karma.
Reverse Price is Right.
Okay, and for shits and gigs, what do you guys think the Metascore was?
6.5.
65.
I feel like you guys looked it up, but I
Is it
think-
65?
I had it earlier. Where'd it go? 63.
63. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into our double downs.
I'm doubling
Kevin?
down.
You're doubling down?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good watch. Little heartfelt movie. A little sad at times, but I thought it was a good watch. Just a little long.
James?
I change. I believe that it is a good movie, and I change the change. I will watch this movie, and it is good.
James is so
What the
drunk.
fuck happened?
Ironically, I almost
You want
want
to
to
change?
change my mind too. Like,
Bandwagoner.
I do think
It's
no,
the first time.
it's like I was on the fence. I didn't enjoy it, but I'm also like, you know what? I think I probably just was like tired when I watched
In
it
a bad space. Yeah.
and in a bad space. I think maybe if I watched this like when I had like more, I don't know. I could see myself rewatching this movie potentially.
If a movie
Let's
makes you
go.
cry, then
So,
it's a good movie.
Our first.
Again, it's soft press play because I didn't have an emotional connection to it. But again,
I love
I fell
it.
asleep for 10 minutes and I did want to go back and rewatch it because I didn't want to miss it. So it's
I
like,
love it.
oh,
it.
you know what? Ironically, the 10 minutes that I fell asleep is when his wife died.
That's so funny.
Oh,
And
wow,
that's
that
why
was
I
the
went
sad
back because
part.
I was like, wait a minute, this seemed to have I was like, when I fell asleep, it was going like dark. And then when I woke up, it was like him at the cat show, like all happy and everyone was like loving him. I was like, something changed
What has
here. Let me
happened?
go back.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's so funny.
So, yeah. And I did like the second half better when I, got my little power nap in. So there you have it. We have 2 minds changed and 1 double
Yes.
down. We're 3 press plays, and that is a wrap on the electrical life of Louis Wain. If you are enjoying our content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at flicks_fellas, and subscribe to our Patreon page if you want to help out the show, keep us going. It really means a lot to us, and there's some cool perks. We'll make sure that whatever level you sign up for, we will hook you up with something good. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Ciao, ciao.
Goodbye.